So the federal EV mandate is forcing all new cars to be electric by 2035, which sounds ambitious, but in reality, it raises a lot of problems. First and foremost, winter is a serious issue. EV batteries don't hold their charge very well in the cold winter months, kind of like when you take your iPhone outside and it dies in the freezing temperatures. EVs have the same performance issue. On top of that, drivers are often told to turn off their heat to preserve battery life. So imagine you're driving down a rural highway at -30 with no heat. You're not just going to be uncomfortable, you're going to be freezing cold. And this is a serious safety risk. Next is the charging infrastructure, which is another huge challenge. Imagine every car you see on the road now needs a charger. This would require mass electrification on a scale it's never been done before, costing billions of taxpayer dollars. And even today, outside of major cities, chargers are scarce, and a full transition would put serious strain on the electrical grid. Next is the cost, which is another huge concern for Canadians. An average EV costs $60,000, and many Canadians would need government incentives to actually afford one, putting more strain on taxpayers. And then there's the environmental impact that is not as green as they claim with the net zero slogans. Mining minerals like lithium and cobalt and nickel destroys land and pollutes local ecosystems, and also creating the batteries themselves requires a lot of energy that often comes from burning fossil fuels in places like China, for example. Recycling the EV batteries is also not a well-established process, and the batteries often end up in landfills. And here's the critical point that people often miss. EVs only reduce emissions if the electricity they use come from clean sources. In places like Alberta and Saskatchewan, which is 10% of Canada's grid, electricity comes from fossil fuels, so EVs wouldn't truly be net zero there. And finally, the choice for these EVs is extremely limited. Not everyone can find a truck, an SUV, or an affordable EV that meets their needs, especially in rural areas or for tradespeople, for example. Who is the government to tell Canadians we only have one option? If you want to go buy an EV, go for it, but don't force everyone into a single solution that doesn't fit their lifestyle, their budget, their climate, or their location. So the main takeaway is simple. If we push everyone into a one-size-fits-all EV mandate, we risk creating more problems than we claim to solve: environmental, economic, and practical. Canadians deserve better than a policy that doesn't fit the realities. It's time to scrap this EV mandate.